Good morning, everybody. Welcome to LockPod, Belgium's top-rated podcast, episode 2222. That's right, season 5, episode 15.
It's a lot of twos.
22222. The next episode
Deuce is wild.
Next episode of LockPod, where it's like this, is going to be in the year 2033. So enjoy this one while it lasts.
I can't wait for season 16.
16. It'd be like season 48.
2033 is
episode
only
3. Yeah.
No, 2033 is only 11 years away. 11
There's a
plus
new
5
locomotive
is 16.
because the locomotive passed away 10 years ago.
Yeah.
2023 is going to be a bad year for me.
So I was, obviously we were out Friday, and by the way, thank you to Steve and Brett and Phil for filling in.
Yeah, thank you. It was funny. I listened to it yesterday.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, it's like if you're a pro football fan and you're starting like the fourth string quarterback, right?
That's Phil.
But like, and then the fourth string quarterback just fumbles and just fucks the whole game up, right? And like things just go horrible.
They didn't do that though.
No. It's sort of like that. Like you're expecting everything just to suck.
And they come through
and
then
the quarterback plays decent, and you're like, whoa, we lost, but it was a good game, right?
Yeah, they had a lot of listeners, and they also did a good job. So thank you guys for coming in and
Brett was on the show.
Brett was here.
You wouldn't know. There was a guy sitting in this other seat the whole time. But
I was talking to him yesterday. No, I really thought it was a funny show. I did. And, I think Phil does a good job as host. I think he's funny. And I was talking to Brett, and I was like, yeah, listen to the show. And he's like, do you like it? I did like it. I thought it was funny. I was like, you should talk more. He's like, you're a guest on the show. You should have some stuff prepared maybe when you get to the studio. Like, some stuff you can fall back on if you're.
He was like, it's pretty obvious I'm not the favorite brother.
He is the favorite brother.
He said no. He said he's his favorite son, not
he
the favorite
is the
brother.
favorite son. No,
said, it's pretty
doubt.
obvious I'm not the favorite brother.
I think all brothers and sisters would agree Brett is the favorite son.
That's what he said.
And Nicole is the favorite daughter. And Aaron and I are the bastards.
Wow.
Of the family.
That's something.
You have been watching Game of Thrones.
You're the Jon Snow.
I am the Jon Snow. I am the Jon Snow of the McDermott family. Thank you.
So there's something else that came up recently. We were out and our
season 5, by the way.
And one of our, I guess maybe once in a while listeners said that they thought the intro was too long, and that
the intro is only on Facebook Live.
Well, that's true.
Like if
the music, like it's too long. I don't want to listen to that twice. It comes up, and I was thinking, well, maybe just listen after 5 minutes or listen to or subscribe, right? I mean, we like to kind of get in the studio, get comfortable, build up the audience.
The reason we have the 2-song intro is so that we could build up our live audience.
Well,
right?
And we don't want people to miss anything if they're listening live.
Right. So like everybody knows if you come in a couple minutes late, you're able to log in and still catch LockPod live.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
John,
by the
do
way,
you have a problem with the long intro? Or the intro, I should say?
I actually remember when we talked about, do we do it once or do we do it twice? And we started doing it twice, and our audience built up, and I think it's all right. By the way, who said that?
I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to call people out.
But I mean,
like I'm gonna.
First off,
I'm canceling them.
Yeah,
I'm in the studio for almost every show, right? And I listen to both, and I'm fine with it. Usually, we're talking and getting ready for the show. By the way, when I listen to the pod, though, it's on Apple Pod, and you don't hear the song.
No,
at
it just
all.
goes right into it.
Yeah.
Spotify goes right into the song.
Favorite podcast
on YouTube. Is it? Yeah, it's like more than everybody. That's how it starts. How about on YouTube?
There is no intro.
No
song.
intro.
See, so like I have a suggestion for this young lady who may be closely related to one of our employees.
I mean, maybe not.
F off?
No, I would never say F off.
I would.
But anyway,
no, I mean, I think it's
just watch it on YouTube.
Subscribe or
Apple Pod or like Spotify, right?
I mean, I don't think there's a chat say they hate the intro.
I think the
you
audience
guys don't know what we had to do to get Shannon Sharp to let us use this freaking intro.
Right.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp uses
right.
our intro.
That's right.
Somebody I think on chat earlier said we need lyrics for the intro or the intro. I don't think
in
we need
Spanish.
lyrics. Sure, we'll get Eli.
Dude, I got to take this hat off.
This is the first time back in the studio since your big haircut.
It's hot in here.
Let's.
With the hat on.
Is that a lyric?
Nelly.
It's getting hot in here. Now take off all your clothes.
No, thank you. Just the hat.
Getting too hot. I want to take my clothes
Wow,
off.
that's dramatic.
What's that?
You didn't say you were going to take a vest off.
Wow.
Did you shave your chest too?
What's coming next? Look out.
Scott's going to need to sit here, isn't he?
What's coming up next?
Nothing.
Nice.
All right.
Look at that.
Wow.
What's that?
You've done that
My
before.
bald head. Yeah, $15,000. No, actually, I think it was $16,000 we raised for the family, the Max Moore family,
Cute
with
kid.
the GoFundMe. He got those clippers in his hand. He's 2 years old. He had anger in his eyes. He did. He was going against the grain too. I'm like, dude, like you're supposed to go down. He's like going the wrong way. So I'm going to be like this for, I don't know.
Yeah, it's coming back.
It's cold. I can tell you that. It's a different feeling when you're bald.
Navy cut.
Yep.
Well, good job and congrats. I think that was a great thing to do.
Yeah. But the cool thing about being bald is you don't have to shower. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to
Wait, I think you still have to shower.
No. You
I
just
feel
let
like
it go.
I've heard this bit before.
Yeah,
it
I
is a
think so,
bit
too.
Yeah.
But every time I roll into like that's one of
Once
the
a year.
positive things about being bald is you just sort of just let everything else go because like it doesn't matter. Do I brush my teeth? No. Do I shower? Why shower? I'm bald. It doesn't matter, right? So like,
Sound logic.
thank you, Joe.
Wait. You don't shower as often, or you just
He
don't
said
shower?
at all.
You just let it go.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
What is
John.
happening right now?
I have no idea.
Spiral.
That's what I said earlier. I said I still think you need to shower.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. Ask Marissa.
I have my own bald rules.
Ask Marissa.
You have your bald rules. I have my bald rules.
Mike Dr. Foy just said in the chat, I shower.
Are you saying ball or
And
ball?
he's bald.
Showers. Four never showers.
I think he does.
I hang with Four.
He seems clean to me.
No. See, like when I go bald, I just let all my body functions go. It doesn't matter anymore.
All right. Well,
Until I start
good
getting
to
my
know.
hair back. Right.
Congratulations, Marissa. By the way, great 219 date. I know that all of us were there. Jill was helping organize, and John was working very hard.
Hold on.
Great Twitter screen.
I'm just thinking of the Todd Young campaign ad.
Yes.
I don't shower. It just opens with Tom talking about how he doesn't shower. Vote for Tom.
No,
the candidate who
John.
doesn't
Just
shower.
be
Serving
accurate.
water.
Thank you.
Oh!
Thank you, Joe.
Nice angle.
I'm
Nice angle.
green, right? Save the earth kind of
Yeah.
stuff, right? I figure what the heck. If I'm bald, it's just I don't need to shower. I don't need to shampoo. I mean, certainly don't need a conditioner.
No.
Right? So I
Yeah,
just
that's
let it
true.
go to save the earth. Thank you, Joe.
Do you want one of
So
the
take that, Todd Young.
unhuddled masses to be your senator, or do you
Yeah.
want this Washington
pampered,
TD?
He's using like oils in his hair, his pampered showers, probably have multiple nozzles.
Are you?
Wow.
Did you condition
me.
when you had hair?
Yeah, I
You used
conditioned.
conditioner?
I had to.
Huh.
Really?
My hair was so long. I had to.
Wow.
Because like if I didn't,
conditioner.
my hair is like super curly, believe it or not, and like you could see it when I got shaved. It was all like curly hair. But
Wow.
if you don't condition my hair, it'll literally curl all up
All right.
when it's long, and it was
Kevin?
long.
Oh, I want to see
I
that.
do not use conditioner.
That's why your hair is so curly in the back. Look at
Must
that.
be.
Hang with me.
All right. So using conditioner,
Hey,
straighten it out.
Jay Vez,
Yeah.
this is your last show for a while, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
You gonna be all right?
Where are you going?
I'm going under the knife, everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Send John your good vibes. He'll be fine. It's outpatient.
Yeah. It's supposed to be outpatient. So
Really?
All right. So if we report that you're inpatient later in the week,
you're gonna, yeah, but
John's still in the hospital. He wasn't supposed to be, but
yeah, it's supposed to be an outpatient procedure. And don't fret. We've got a really capable fill-in pod producer coming your way. You've seen him once before.
Yeah?
Chris
Campbell?
Yeah.
You're finally getting that horrible overbite taken care of?
It's well.
Oh, that's not it?
There are.
Oh, my bad.
There's rumors going around about a penis reduction. I won't confirm or deny.
A tuck.
Really?
is that outpatient? Really?
Is that outpatient?
So anyway,
Yes.
you're going to be out for a couple.
I'm going to be out for a couple. Yeah.
So
At
what?
least
Next
one,
show and the show
probably
after that,
two.
we'll have Chris. And by the way, Chris is
Chris.
hilarious.
Yeah,
I
Chris
think
would be
he's
great.
way funnier than you, to be honest, John. So like, I think it's a step
Chris
up.
has got his own sense of humor.
Son of a bitch.
I think it's a huge step up for the audience. I'm going to take a look at our crowds. If we get bigger audiences during those couple shows, we're going to have to start talking business.
Well, it's all about subscriptions at this point. The live audience, we love you too. But
Yeah, I love you, John. I hope you're all right. And
Thank you.
your tuck or your extension or whatever the heck
Reduction.
whatever you're gonna go through.
talk.
I'm pulling for you. I'm pulling
Thank
for
you. Thank you.
And I hope I hope it ends up being outpatient, John. So
Yeah, if it's inpatient, we're gonna have a special episode of Lockpod.
John in the hospital.
John,
I'm not kidding. When the nurse called me, like the pre-registration thing, I told her in no uncertain terms, I don't want anyone back there until I'm fully conscious.
dang it,
Wow.
man!
Out
Come
of
on.
my, yeah.
You can get around
that was one of the best
because all I thought about
was
Tom's vlog.
It was awesome.
I was like, they're gonna sneak in and vlog this.
Hey, Amy,
when I'm saying things I shouldn't be saying.
Amy, I'm talking to you right now. There's one thing I know about surgery because I just had it, and Kevin knows the same thing, right?
Yes.
When you come out of surgery, you're on fentanyl, right? And it's something. Like, in Amy,
come out of anesthesia, yeah.
It's like a truth serum, Amy. You could ask John anything, and you're talking right into his soul. So ask John those deep, dark questions, Amy, when he comes out of surgery, and find out what's buried in that soul. That's
right,
that's just me and Amy talking.
My wife's a counselor. If she hasn't found out yet,
I was going to say,
John's looking at me like, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
No, it's true, though. When you get out of surgery.
You're a little wackadoodle.
Truth serum?
Dude, I was like, yeah, it was funny. I was being funny.
Well, I don't think you don't remember it.
I don't remember anything. Marissa filmed the whole thing. I don't remember anything, John. Like, I don't remember any of the conversation. The only thing I remember is waking up at Five Guys parking lot. I missed the whole recovery, getting dressed, driving there. I wake up and I'm like, why am I Five Guys parking lot? Like, how did this happen? So you're gonna go through some of that, bud.
You're gonna be fine.
That's the part I don't want to do the most is going under, right?
Nah, I mean,
it's easy. It really is, John.
All right.
You don't even know it.
John,
I mean, you're there, and all of a sudden, you wake up in the recovery room.
They literally, because they're going to give you an IV for fluids and stuff, right? So you'll be hooked up to an IV, and they want to make sure you have enough fluids, and you'll be sitting there, and then one doctor is going to walk in, and you're going to be just chilling, thinking you're getting fluids, and he's going to jam a bunch of fentanyl in there, and then you're going to go to sleep.
Nice.
And then you're going to wake up in the recovery room if all goes well,
or at Five Guys.
That comment's going to come back to haunt you, Kevin. If it doesn't go well.
No, it's going to go fine. I got you.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to miss you, bro.
Yes. Be well.
So what, you think 2 shows, John?
Yeah, I think 2 shows.
All right.
Okay.
So basically, we'll see you in a week.
Yep, maybe.
All right, good.
219 Day.
You said that.
219 Day was a huge success.
219 Day was great. It was just good to get out. I mean, obviously, 219 Day, for those that may not know, it's we live in the 219 zip code. It's a region holiday. It's become a region holiday thanks to this Twitter account called Region Rants, and then the mayor has promoted it in Hammond and made it kind of a special event day. And every year there's a theme.
Region Rant. What was that?
Except for this year.
There was a theme. It was like 80s arcade games.
There you go.
Well,
that's
not true, but
80s arcade games.
We rented a bunch of shit. That's our theme.
Our theme this year was jamming out, too.
It was really good. Well, for those of you that listened to last Tuesday's episode, we had Tommy DiCarlo on, and he talked about coming, lead singer of Boston. He came and did Boston tunes, and Rudy Cardenas did unbelievable work on Journey. Had a couple thousand people there probably. Bunch of great arcade games, bunch of really cool things like roller derby girls and temporary tattoos and craft beers. Super Mayor made an appearance
with no tats. It was more sophisticated Super Mayor. I had like a coat on.
Oh,
no tuxedo shirt with muscle
Senate
shirt.
candidate Super Mayor.
I mean, I'm running for office. I can't be running around with a tuxedo muscle shirt tatted up. Right?
I think we've got a couple of good tweets from the from 219 Day, which I thought were kind of funny. John, you got any that you could roll up there?
Yeah, got them pulled up here. This one's funny.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
You can't see it?
Oh, there we go. Jeff Four-Timer Terry tweeted, I don't know if hashtag 219 Day will be the last for @Region Rants. Over my life, I've done incredible things. Held plutonium in my hand. Stood on active lava flows. Been in submarines. Run a National Scientific User Facility. But being one of the Region 219 is my proudest achievement. And then a picture of the cell.
He was
a game.
I guarantee you, Jeff Four-Timer Terry was a Navy nuke like I was.
Look at his look at his handle.
His handle is
@nuclear94.
Right, I guarantee you, because if he held plutonium in his hand, that means he was on a submarine.
Have you?
No, but we didn't decommission. It sounds like he was probably on a submarine. They were either refueling or decommissioning. So he's probably in dry dock and he's been in submarines. So that tells me that, obviously he worked as a nuke like I did. So good job.
Very cool.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Speaking of Super Mayor, here is Super Mayor on stage here. Whereas living in the 219, this is part of your proclamation, I think, guarantees the best place to find pizza, tacos, and Italian beef. Whereas living in the region guarantees someone with a fully functional bar in their basement. I proclaim it 219 Day.
Hashtag 219 Day.
Yeah.
Super Mayor is a character I came up with on the first one, and I got the top hat, and I used to borrow Ernie Dillon's top hat for a couple of years, and then I said, screw it, I need to get my own top hat.
And you have White Castle sunglasses.
White Castle sunglasses donated by White Castle, and a sash with kissy lips on it, because one lady in the very first year I wore the sash that says Mayor kissed it, and there's been kissy lips on it ever since.
All right, there you go.
Yep.
And then here's a photo of Rudy Cardenas taking over for the mayor on #219 Day.
Awesome. He was good.
He was really good.
I think they were better than the headliner.
Really?
Wow.
What about? So. Do we have any clips from the Journey?
No, I don't think so. I didn't see any. Same band, by the way. They just switched out singers, so it was like the Journey.
That was actually Journey.
Yeah, no.
No.
I'm just saying the band stayed the same.
Oh, I got you. I got you. So the members of the band were the same. The only thing they did is Rudy Cardenas played the Journey songs, and then Tommy DiCarlo played the Boston songs.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I thought they were both really, really good. The crowd loved it. Interesting fact, and I didn't know this. I was talking to Phil. He said the way that the city was able to get in contact with these bands was you see the female bass player there. The female bass player is actually a niece of Terry Velligan, who is head of the Klein Avenue.
That's right. He mentioned
Klein
that
Avenue
to
Bridge
me.
project.
That's right. He mentioned that to me.
Yeah, which is really cool. So you got to see his niece. She usually lives in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's right.
Really
I had a
neat.
conversation with her about that.
So he's the one who kind of
I didn't realize that.
Put the bug in.
I remember
the bug in our ear.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Right. So we don't have any.
Happy 219 Day.
Yeah, 219 Day was very, very fun. Hey, the Olympics are over.
Are they?
Did they start?
No, they're
over.
Are they over? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know they had closing
watch
ceremonies. I did watch some of it. I just didn't watch.
It always
seemed like curling was on a lot.
Yeah.
Curling was on before the Olympics started too.
Well, maybe it was the prelims or something. The curling was on a lot.
Well, they had the closing ceremonies. How about we just go there,
I didn't know that. Okay, good.
And I don't know. Do you guys watch a lot of like the cross country skiing kind of stuff?
Sometimes I try to watch biathlon because I like to watch the shooting.
That's fun. I agree. Yeah. And then they have a really cool course. Well, there was a 50-kilometer. So how far is that?
No, what is that?
5K is 3 miles. So
right.
that's 30 miles?
60%. So
30 miles.
30 miles. Good call.
So they have a 30-mile race. Do I sound tinny right now?
No.
Okay. So they have a 30-mile race in this, I don't know what it's biathlon or it's cross-country skiing or whatever it is.
It's supposed to be like the marathon of cross-country skiing or something maybe.
Yeah, and then they had they don't have a lot of injuries in these races.
That's good.
But it was incredibly cold in Canada.
China.
Excuse me.
Both.
China.
Same thing if you're watching the news these days.
Yeah, it was incredibly cold.
Did you watch the Olympics?
I watched the Olympics. By the way, yeah. Did you see where they were doing like the ski jumping and all that? It was like was like in an industrial area. It would be like if we built a ski ramp in like Gary, right between the steel mills, and then we had a
kind of cool use of the land.
It is. I know. It was cool. It was just unusual to see.
Well, we talk about like how Lost Marsh, right? The golf course in Hammond is right up against the third largest refinery in the country, right? It's kind of an interesting dichotomy. You got like all this nature on one side, and then you have the industry on the other side.
Well, they did you'll be at the Lost Marsh, and they're like, hey, where should I aim on this shot? And you're like, you see that smokestack over there? Aim right for that smokestack.
Or do you see that tank that says the number like 3582?
Right.
3582.
You aim right for it. That's how you, that's the Lost Marsh. That's how you play it. So anyway, getting back to what was going on in China during this 30-mile race, this 50-kilometer like cross-country skiing race. It's incredibly cold out there during this portion. And China's cold. I visited China for 2 weeks. Nobody else in here has visited China, I don't believe. Jill, have you?
Mm-mm.
The thing I found, I got in China in March, and I stayed for a couple weeks, and it was freezing the entire time we were there, like Chicago type of freezing, cold, wet, freezing. But I wasn't there, in February, but they obviously get snow in Beijing even.
Big country, right? I mean, I'm sure there are sunny parts of China like Florida.
There is, like Guangzhou, I visited, which is more like Florida.
There are chilly parts of China,
Guangzhou,
like up north.
When you're in Guangzhou, actually, which is one of the places I visited, it's literally, you feel like you're in Florida, like southern Florida.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge country, right? I'm sure that it spans the latitudes.
So anyway, we had a skier from Finland who is participating in this 50-kilometer race in unbearable wind chills. Skiers braved 1.4 degree Fahrenheit and 40-mile-an-hour winds, which made it feel like minus 26 degrees. Wind chill.
That's chilly.
Yeah, that sucks.
That would suck, especially cross country.
Right.
Oh my gosh, your hand, all the extremities are exposed. Ugh.
Yeah, your extremities are exposed. That's sort of where we're going with this, Kev.
All right.
So, and to remind everybody, frostbite occurs when somebody's exposed to extreme cold. Blood vessels in the hands and feet will constrict in order to direct blood flow and warmth back to the center of the body. So your extremities will start to constrict blood so that you can maintain the warmth in the core of your body, right?
Makes sense. Ears, nose, right? That's really frostbite.
Toes,
hands,
right? Fingers, right? True. Well, so anyway, this unfortunate incident occurred for this male Finnish skier, when the body... So basically, he had a part of his body that was frozen.
Frostbite,
and it wasn't his fingers or his toes. That would hurt.
That would really hurt.
Did you say he literally froze his dick off?
Yes.
Is that what we're going
Thank
with?
you.
Okay.
Well, let me...
Jill said it.
Jill said it.
Is that the surgery you're
Okay,
having?
so hold it. Yeah, is that
John? Have you been cross-country skiing lately in
So
China?
hold it. This is in the news. So I'm just going to read... I'm going to read the headline that was in the news that I was reading. Ready?
Okay.
Finnish skier suffers frozen penis during cross-country event at Beijing Olympics.
Wow.
There you go.
That poor
Then it
guy,
says, quote,
dude.
one of the worst competitions, end quote.
Why is
Yeah.
why is frozen
And this-
penis in quotes in the headline?
And it
I
says,
agree. Why is frozen penis in
So
quotes?
Remy Lindholm is his name, 24-year-old fella, and he says it was just about battling through.
I don't think we should have said his name. Because
Well, I mean-
that's so...
It's published.
I know, but it should
She's a
have never been
24-year-old
published.
fella.
It's
Yeah.
back. He's back.
This man
His
lost
penis
his
is
penis
better?
and
Yes,
only
he said
came
it-
in
Hold on.
28th.
Jill's saying he lost his penis. I
No,
want to get
no,
this
he did
figured
not
out
lose
here.
it. It was just frostbite.
Okay.
But I think the funny
What does
thing
that
is,
mean, though?
think about it. And by the way, when if you've when you're extreme cold, right, and your hands do get cold and they warm up, it hurts. The warming up hurts. So this was a great quote also by him. He said, quote, when the body parts started to warm up after the finish, the pain was unbearable. That would be really it hurt my hands warming up recently when I was in the cold. It just...
You guys were giving me all kinds of crap when I gave myself frostbite last year, if you remember correctly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it hurt.
That
It was
was
on my
different.
leg.
Yes.
It was on my leg.
Okay.
I don't
So let's
remember
think
this
about
That
this.
was different.
He did not get frostbite because he was out in the cold. He got frostbite because he put a dry ice pack on his skin
For too long.
Oh.
and burned it.
This is
a
my
that's a
campaign manager.
chemical
Any
burn.
votes for me right now?
This is not the same thing.
You're
I
the
agree.
everyman.
That
I
photo
didn't
was
put an
bad.
ice pack on my penis. Let's just leave it at that. So, anyway, I'm thinking about things that could have been done to prevent this poor gentleman from suffering this disease, right?
Well, I'd like to know from the coach's perspective, why don't they have
Yeah, I thought
better
the same
He's
thing.
from
equipment?
Finland. It's cold in
Finland's not like
Finland.
Finland's not like Miami.
Right. You didn't
Helsinki
know what
right
you were
now
walking
is
into?
what's the temperature in Helsinki right now?
Is this
John?
the first time a frozen penis has happened in this race?
It can't be.
I don't
I
know.
agree.
I doubt
Can't
it.
be.
All you need is a sock. Throw a freaking gym sock in your
Well,
pants.
how about
No,
some
you gotta go
additional?
wool.
How about some
if you had
additional
the gym sock and it's just
cushioning or something? Just
That's
something.
what I'm saying, dude. You're going bareback, and it's
Well,
minus
I don't know.
28?
Maybe it's for
Look at how thin those...
aerodynamic.
Look at how
But
thin those...
they make those little heat warmer things for your hands for your pockets, right?
Well, then
That's what I'm saying. See,
you've
Joe.
got the opposite. You've
This-
got penis burn.
Well,
Which
no,
is
no.
worse.
So you take Jill's idea and my idea. You get one of those little hand warmers, right? You shake it up, and then you put it in a gym sock. Roll the
No,
gym
you
sock
gotta
up.
go wool.
throw
you
it-
gotta go wool.
Then go wool. Fine. And then you throw it in downstairs. Boom. Right.
At this
No
point,
frozen penis.
The appeared growth is so can you imagine this guy skating down the hill
Yes.
and there's this huge bulge from the wool sock?
At least
It's
he is not
glowing
going to
from
suffer
the-
permanent damage on his private parts. Right.
Helsinki's really not that cold right now. 26 degrees.
What I'm
Wait,
saying
add
is
the wind chill.
this guy's
Yeah.
coaches let him
Feels
down.
like
You guys remember the wide
100%, Tom.
14.
The coaches let him down. We agree on this,
They
right?
prepare for
Wait a
everything.
minute.
How could you not
Wait,
think
I would
how is
think-
this the coach's fault though?
Because you have to understand that this guy is probably going to suffer frozen extremities, and you got to think.
But how
about,
does he not know that?
You got to think about number one. And when I'm talking about number one, I'm not talking about my toes. You know what I'm saying? Start from the top.
Yes.
Priorities.
How is it not the athlete's fault though?
Well, they provide the equipment, I would think. The team does. I don't know. It's interesting. I'd be curious to hear is if other teams had different, thermal wear than
Right.
the Finnish team did.
By the way, you know what
Yeah.
sucks? This guy took 28th place.
Right?
Like he should have just stayed home, man.
28?
28th place.
Wouldn't you if you had a frozen penis?
Hell yeah, dude.
No,
I would have been a DNF. I would have been worming myself up.
I think making the Olympics is a big deal.
Yeah, but
even
he
if you
suffered
end
a
up in
frozen
28th
penis.
place.
Like who? Like that is horrible.
It warmed up. He's back.
But
How do you
also,
know?
how many
I'm
people?
gonna say he's back.
Let me
to
tell you
him?
something. I had frostbite less than a year ago. I consider myself somewhat an expert on this, right?
Self-induced.
So when it was self-induced, it was an accident, okay? But what happens is it starts off as like a scab. So this guy, I imagine, has.
I don't think that's true. Yours was not.
Listen, can I please?
Yes.
Did
go
you
ahead.
have you had
Fine.
frostbite lately, Kevin?
No.
Then once you let the expert that recently had it, it starts off as like an open wound, right? And then from there, it turns very, very dark, like a scab, right? This guy isn't bouncing around. Him and his wife, if he has a wife, they're not like sharing, intimate moments right now.
I think that there's probably different degrees of frostbite. Yours was a burn from dry ice.
His was a burn in
His
minus
was just
28 degree
not a
This
weather.
burn.
was just like it got cold and warmed up.
All right.
Let's do some ads.
Hey, by the way, we got.
I bet our sponsors are really excited to come out of that right into their ad.
I got a mean tweet when we get back. I got a mailbag. And then we're going to talk about.
We're going to
Let's just be honest.
Yeah, we're going to have Scott Yahne, and we're going to talk about what happened last week at the Election Commission.
Scott Yahne is the lawyer that represented. Well, he represented himself, but I've known
Scott Yahne was a challenger, and he challenged 2 candidates that ran for Senate.
And in the Indiana Elections Committee hearing we had the other day,
Commission, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Commission, it was pretty heated, right, Kevin?
I mean, it was an interesting room.
Typical Kevin.
I didn't think it got. I didn't think.
Kevin?
I didn't.
Did
think
you and I
Scott-
get? Did
it
you
was
and I have a
interesting
disagreement
room.
in front of 500 people? Or
You
300
and I
people?
had a disagreement quietly that you then
Did
let
other
everybody-
people notice that we had a disagreement?
Yes.
We were sort of arguing with each other at our council table.
we were discussing a couple things.
Yeah,
Yes.
discussing. And I was like,
disagreeing with me.
Yeah.
What else is new?
We'll get
it's
into
going to be
that,
good.
too.
It's going to be good. So make sure you hang on. Scott Yahne's going to be in the house in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about interesting stuff that happened in Indianapolis the other day.
All right.
Let's go. Want to
Do our
start us
ads.
off, Kevin?
Sure. Our premier sponsor this year is Powering America. Season 5 is powered by our premier sponsor, Powering America. With the explosive growth of renewable energy in America today, call Powering America to meet your needs. For renewable energy in your home or office, including electric vehicle chargers and solar-powered solutions, trust the electrical professionals of Powering America. Visit poweringnorthwestindiana.org. That's poweringnorthwestindiana.org.
Pow. Calumet Brewery. Let's get the new year started with a Michelob Ultra. Ultra has only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, so it's sure to keep your resolutions in check while continuing to be one of the fastest growing brands nationally and in the region. Take your resolutions to the next level and try an organic light lager with only 2.5 carbs and 85 calories. Ultra Pure Gold is brewed for your healthy lifestyle. Check out calbrew.com or CalBrew's Facebook page for brand info and giveaways. Cheers with beers.
Grisolia's Concrete was voted number 1 in the Times Best of the Region 2020 and 2021. Grisolia's Concrete specializes in all of your concrete projects, and they've been using the original cement finish in the
California style
since 1972, and also offers stamped and colored concrete. Call now at 219-659-4127 to get your project lined up for the spring.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. They're dedicated to assisting our clients with their systems integrations needs. Tri Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 800-722-6793.
Byway Brewing. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious taproom and an outside patio. Brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, and corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu.
Misprint Printing specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and within budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions you can count on. Rick Baltenberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. Misprint has 2 convenient locations in Munster and in Hammond.
Executive Suites Squared. Executive Suites Squared, commonly known as ES2, is a first-class executive office environment located on 8094 at Kennedy Avenue. ES2 offers flexible membership plans that provide the privacy of dedicated, fully furnished offices with 24/7 secured access. So no matter how big or small your business may be, they can accommodate the way you work. For more information on their basic or private office membership packages or to rent one of their state-of-the-art conference rooms, call them at 219-844-2901 or visit them at executivesuites2.com.
Challenger Learning Center will be hosting summer camp sessions this June and July for students entering kindergarten through the 6th grades. Space is limited for these camps, and they fill up quickly. Scholarships are also available. For more information and to register, do it soon at clcnwi.com or call the Challenger Learning Center at 219-989-3250. Thank you to our sponsors, including our premier sponsor, Powering America.
Pow. Hey, Scott, what's going on?
Scott Yahne in the house.
Hey, guys. Good
Nice
to be
to see
here
you.
with you.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Attorney
Live in
Scott
action.
Yahne,
This is
yes.
cool.
Attorney Scott Yahne. We've known each other for a long time. We had a fun Friday the other day, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what we call it?
It
Fun?
was not
The
fun.
drive was fun.
The drive.
Oh, my God.
Every part.
Are we going right
drive.
into that? Do you want to skip mailbag, Kev? Or
Scott's here. I mean, I don't know. Everybody likes mailbag. John, what do you
there's
think?
2 mailbags. I mean,
Mailbag's fun.
One of
Scott,
them's-
you good with us doing
I
mailbag?
do
real
not
quick?
want to be responsible for missing mailbag.
All right.
All right, let's do mailbag.
John,
I want to hear Scott's intro to mailbag, though.
All right.
Mailbag.
Can you do that, Scott?
You got it, Scott. Come on.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well,
Scott-
that's it. Yeah.
Not bad.
Actually, you know what?
Wow.
We're
You know
taking
what?
that
When
one.
John's in the hospital, we're going to bring you in for mailbag.
Just for that one
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, dude. We have to do mailbag today.
That was not bad.
John, we're not going to be able. You have to teach Chris how to do mailbag.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Mailbag.
Mailbag. The first mailbag I would call more like a mean tweet.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is from Time to Fight Hate. That's the handle.
It's ironic that he sent a mean tweet.
I know,
When
right?
his handle is Time to Fight Hate.
Time to Fight Hate. He
All
sent
right.
it to me. Said, you, talking to me, you ran a horrendous campaign for the House. You better run a much better one for Senate.
Wow.
Or else.
Or else.
I may have to hold my nose and try not to vomit before I cast my vote, but Young needs to go.
So it's kind of like a
Time
he's
to
voting
fight hate.
for you.
Thank you. You're a lover and a peaceful person, I can tell.
He's voting for you. I
He's-
mean, I think at the end he said he's voting
literally-
for you.
While he vomits in his mouth. Time to fight
By
hate.
the way, that is
Yeah.
love.
Oh yeah, this is you could tell this is a real peaceful person, right?
He's
Well,
going
I
to
think-
still vote for you.
I'm
Still
going to vote
though
for
he
you.
vomits.
Well,
While
I literally
vomiting.
am vomiting in my mouth,
And holding his nose.
and you better. And by the way, I ran a horrendous campaign. I take exception with that. There was a goddamn pandemic, like right in the middle of the race. I didn't anticipate the pandemic. I mean, that's yeah.
Listen to episodes 1 and 2 of season 1.
Yeah.
Do better next time.
Yeah.
Anticipate.
Next time there's a pandemic in the middle of my race, I will
Be able to
react
adjust.
accordingly.
We got it.
Among other things.
And by the way, if he's saying I ran a horrendous campaign, you know what he's really saying, Scott? About the campaign manager, you know what I'm saying?
John,
Well, I can't believe I overheard a little of what the campaign manager said about your frostbite, though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know, right?
what?
I know. I'm trying to
I love Kevin, but-
I'm trying to get votes here, Scott, and he's pointing out that
I'm just making
I
sure
maimed
the real
myself.
story is out there.
I maimed
That
myself
That
accidentally.
were true and accurate.
and it was a horrendous injury. Okay,
I think I
there's
have a photo
another
of that.
There's another mailbag. This is much better.
All right.
This is from Jason and Anna A.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor, for what you did for our family last year. They're the parents for Ariana, who is the child I sponsored last year for the GoFundMe that raised money for their family. Thank you for doing it for the Moore family today. We watched the video live, and we were able to feel the relief, appreciation, and thankfulness that they were feeling because we felt exactly that last year when Ariana shaved your head. You are an amazing person with a great heart because what you do is a huge blessing to families like mine that are in the toughest times of their lives. Thank you for being you.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That is very
Heartfelt,
nice.
message. And I think people are, and you know what, actually, I was at a fire district meeting about a week ago in Cal Township, and someone there knew about the GoFundMe because they knew the Moore family.
Oh, really?
I guess maybe the husband may have lived out that way at one point, and they were just like all about it. They were like, "It's so nice of the mayor to do this," and I think people do appreciate the fact that you're trying to help families in need.
And I'm not trying to diss on St. Baldrick's at all. I love St. Baldrick's and what they do.
You did that for like a decade.
I did for a decade, but I would be like, I would sponsor a kid, raise a bunch of money through St. Baldrick's for him, and then the family who you're raising money for doesn't really get any money.
Well, I think St. Baldrick's is more of a like let's find the cure, right? Like they're trying to accumulate a lot of money for research and things like that. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't have a direct impact on the local family. Yeah.
So last year when we sponsored Ariana, the parents who just wrote me the message, we raised similar amount of money. I don't remember what it was, but it went right to the family. And by the way, I'm not saying one's related to the other, but the good news about Ariana, she rung the bell about a month ago.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's a little sweetie. She's a little sweetie. I mean, such a beautiful little girl, and she made me a painting and it's hanging in my office. But,
very nice. Well,
good. Obviously for Max, we're hoping for the same thing, and I'm sure his family could certainly use the help. So for everybody that participated and donated, you're wonderful people, and 100% of the money that we raise goes right to the family, which is nice.
All right.
So
great.
Thanks.
Hey, well, thank you for mailbag.
meaningful.
Thanks. Mailbag was good and bad. I'll let you decide which one was which.
Time to
I know which ones I think.
Time to fight hate.
Hey, Scott, first off, you and I have known each other for 20 years.
Give or take, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because you've been practicing as long as Kevin.
We were all downtown Hammond.
Yeah,
right.
Well, and Marissa worked with you for a while.
And Scott worked. Marissa, when she was private practice, she was working with Scott in the same firm at the time, and so we've all known each other for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. So we did a podcast here, Kev, and on that show we were talking about the situation I was facing at the time was the two challengers that were running against me in the primary, Dr. V and Hanifa Khalik, had both failed to meet the signature requirement. And we knew that because we were watching the number of signatures all the way through. And how the decision was trying to be made was, are we going to try to find somebody to file a challenge? And Kevin, could you respond to how I was approaching it at the time?
Yeah, I mean, there was a definitely discussion over Tom basically saying, why should... maybe I should just do this. Why should I have somebody else carry my water? And I don't need, I'm just gonna do it, or I'll do it. And then, kind of, I don't want to say out of the blue, but I mean, obviously we know Scott. Scott texted and said, "Hey, you know what? I'd like to do the challenge. I'd like to challenge.
Would you guys be interested if I did the challenge?" And I was literally prepared to go solo not solo, meaning Tom McDermott would file the challenge against because quite frankly, they didn't have the legal right to file, and they did. And the only way if somebody from Illinois decided to run for U.S. Senate in Indiana, and they drove to Indianapolis, and they filed paperwork to run for Senate in Indiana, even though they don't live in Indiana, they could stay on the ballot. Is that true?
If no one challenges them.
If nobody challenges them, right? So what somebody would do in that case is they would file a challenge and say, this person lives in Illinois. They can't run for Senate in Indiana, right? Well, this was no different. Two of my opponents, Dr. V and Hanifa Khalik, had filed to run even though they didn't meet the legal requirements.
And by the way, one of the things that I thought Hanifa said, and Hanifa's, we've met her on the campaign trail, great person, just has a lot of unbelievably, I think, positive things going for her, is that she mentioned that the system is inconsistent and that it, and that there are issues from clerk to clerk, county to county. That's accurate, by the way. That is not inaccurate, that the system is not a perfect system. And there are difficulties in certain clerks' offices, just that they do them differently. Some just certify them on the back. Some wait for the election board members to certify them. Some hold them for a certain day when they certify them. Some give you a summary form. Some don't. So it is a system that is imperfect, but it's a system we have, right? And it's a system we have to work in, and it's a system that every candidate has to work in. And so I think that's the thing that if I disagreed with something, there were a couple things I disagreed with what she said, but if the one thing I disagreed with, it was that it was almost an implication that the system wasn't fair just to her. I mean, the system's a tough system to qualify on the ballot. And you just have to be ready to go and be able to adjust to whatever, when the deadline is.
Kevin, how many people helped us get the number of signatures?
Dozens.
I mean, what do you think? Say good.
I would say somewhere between 50 and 100 people.
Is it closer to 100 or closer to 50?
I mean, but some people did multiple. But some people did multiple. So I would say it's somewhere between 50 and 100 people, probably 75 to 80 people.
Okay.
Yeah, and and that includes people like Steve Kellogg, who and Jill, who ran around on
and John
and well, I'm saying no, Jill and Steve specifically, and like Jeff Smith and others, and Jimmy Talon, who ran and Jaime and people like that who ran in their cars to clerk's offices to get the petitions after they were dropped off.
They were literally just going
collected them.
Clerk's office to clerk office. Like
Jill, right? I mean,
it was messy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Jill, you were like a mail carrier, sort of, right? You were literally picking up envelopes from different clerk's offices around the state.
And each clerk's office is a little different,
they're all
right?
different. Mm-hmm.
Some people are like, wait here while we do it.
Some of them weren't even in the clerk's office. It was in the
voter registration.
In a completely different building, and it was
yeah,
it was
an experience. And
What part of the state did you have, Joe?
Which time? I had Bloomington. I was in Spencer. That kind of the whole middle kind of area.
Yeah, western, like kind of western middle. Yeah,
Lafayette.
So, but we all knew when the deadline was. It was the 4th is the deadline to file, but the 1st and noon is the deadline to the clerks. And I remember you and I laughing because I would say I want these by Wednesday, and you'd say, is that a Kevin deadline, or is that a state deadline? And I was like, that's a Kevin deadline because I want to make sure we're comfortable,
right?
And so,
because Kevin deadlines are like twice as anal as they need to be usually.
But they were.
Yes, and here we are sitting
That's
with you
why
as
I
a
asked
candidate.
that question.
Right, yes.
Is that a Kevin deadline or a legal deadline?
But anyway, I mean, I think the point I wanted to make is that Hanif is correct, that it is a significant undertaking to get this done. And it's not a perfect system, but it's a system we have.
We all face the same obstacles. Todd Young faced the same obstacles as Tom McDermott faced the same obstacles as Hanifa, Dr. V, and then Niederberger.
Danny Niederberger, yeah.
Niederberger, right?
Yeah.
So, Scott, let me ask you a question.
Absolutely.
How long did you prepare it? I mean, because the presentation you gave, the motions you filed, the affidavits you had, I mean, it had to take hours.
How did you spend your weekends?
Days.
Hours.
Well, here.
Minutes.
When I heard your podcast,
because it was after that we got the call from you.
Yeah, and I realized, first of all, this put you in a really difficult circumstance for you to do it personally. Mm-hmm. Asking someone to do this,
I wasn't going to do that.
You said you wouldn't. Mm-hmm. It would be a pretty difficult undertaking. Mm-hmm. Personally, I've known you. I respect you.
Thank you.
Appreciate what you've done around me because I see it. We've had a personal relationship over a number of years. I have a lot of personal esteem for you.
Thank you.
Politically, we're close. Mm-hmm. Not everything I agree with you. You wouldn't agree with Scott, right? But I thought this was a circumstance where somebody needed to step up and do something difficult. And, I'm not, John and your entire crew, you've got people out canvassing, going all across the state. I thought this was an opportunity for me to contribute something that I could contribute because I have a background to at least be able to comprehend what to do. Go read all of the statutes, the summaries, the minutes of prior meetings, and to determine the procedure, because this is something that just to take this on would be a pretty difficult task.
If you had messed it up, you were the only challenge.
Well, and that was really driven home by your podcast last week. I was listening in, and I thought, well, man, Tom is anxious.
Yeah, it's like this is the only challenge.
That bumped up my anxiety level.
So the way this goes, go ahead, Scott.
So that week, I mean, there was an initial challenge, and I wanted to do this right, as somebody with my training and background would be able to do. But it's also somewhat uncharted ground to try to find out what to do. So the initial challenge documents were not an easy undertaking. Spent I don't know how many hours, at least
20,
multiple
20?
Getting that together.
20 hours.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, back and forth, just understanding the case law, requesting. You have to request these CAN 4 forms that a lot of people in that room thought were private documents. I learned because they were casting aspersions on me for getting these documents.
How did you get those? How did you get those? No one has
public
those
request,
except
right.
Of course, they're public.
But there are all sorts of things built in. Well, I could only at the outset, I could look at county reports. I got those initial reports and went through them, but to do an exhaustive search at that initial juncture, it's almost an impossibility. Because, to your question, I spent, I looked at it. It was a good weekend. I spent 10 and a half hours just going through those Can 4 forms.
Which are the petition forms?
Yes, counting the individual certified petitions. The writing wasn't always the best. To your point, each county seemed to do it differently. Sometimes there weren't even signatures from county representatives. Sometimes it was hard to tell if it was a 10 or a 2, but you'd look at the strike-throughs. And in one particular instance, I gave the candidate the benefit of the doubt, which resulted in a slightly different, about a difference of 8 between the commission and my count.
And you focused. It seemed like you focused on the 5th. You were just like, okay, I'm just going to take the 5th, even though, like Dr. V didn't have the required number of signatures in any district. Hanifa had it in a few, but you seemed to just focus on the 5th for both of them.
Well, remember, at the end of the day, if you don't have them in just one, you don't qualify.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Scott's point was like, here's one that I can focus on, and we know it's low,
5th,
right? 350 or whatever it was.
But we also knew the procedure. I had 7 minutes.
That's right.
And and so this was the challenge in my mind. How do you present, it's thousands of pages of those Can 4s. And I mean, I got them in PDF files that were filed by date, not with any real discernible organization. So you'd have to go through sheet by sheet by sheet, count them. I came up with a marking system. But how do you present that to a commission that is going to hear 33 cases that day in a succinct manner, that when you have to have credibility in 7 minutes, you have to give background of who you are, that you have the requisite standing to even make the challenge. There's not much time. I practically determined we could focus on one. Dr. McCrae, I think I focused on the 2nd district because that was an easier one to determine, but she was short in all of them. Hanifa Khalik was short in, I forgot the exact number, but multiple congressional districts. I picked one so I could present, and that was the threshold.
Hey, let me ask you a question. I want to clear this up. Did Committee to Elect Tom McDermott, McDermott for Indiana, or Committee to Elect Tom McDermott, or anybody pay you for this work?
No.
Not a penny?
Volunteer work, right, Scott?
Correct. Absolutely.
No. So I thought it was interesting, like one of the things you have to be to challenge is you have to either be a candidate, you have to be a county chair, or you have to be a voter. And so Scott, of course, is a voter, or at least he signed his petition. The challenge said his voter, but like one of the questions that came up, or one of the like aspersions, I guess, right?
Yes.
That were cast upon Scott. And this, by the way, John, this is an insane room. I mean, those commissioners, they have got to just, I mean, there's
250 people.
The commissioners are sitting there like, okay, we got to herd these cats and get everything moving. They do an unbelievable job, and the staff of the IED and the IC doesn't. I will.
Standing room.
Standing room only.
Wow.
With
There's
Trumpers
tables
everywhere. Like,
flags,
they wanted Niederberger to be on the ballot.
Right.
So he had Trumpers like everywhere with shirts.
Really?
Yes, kids taking photos. There were like stuffed elephants. What? There were people with rhino shirts on saying like Todd Young's folks weren't real Republicans.
Jam packed. Jam packed.
I don't get that. I'm gonna need a
How about the heckling
later.
when somebody came over?
Oh, the heckling. Yes.
Oh, we got heckled.
Yeah.
Our team got
Well,
heckled.
they accused Scott of not being a voter. They said, we have proof that Scott Yahne is not a voter.
Wow.
They were like, Scott's like, oh, man.
What was the proof?
I don't know. Probably spelled his name wrong when they looked him up or something.
During the hearing and even after, after those hearings were done, somebody stood up in the back of the room and yelled.
Yes.
I looked at,
And
first
Scott's,
of all, I voted in every possible election since I was eligible to vote at 18.
Wow.
Starting in Fort Wayne.
Legally, too.
I went,
assume.
yes. It was important to me when I was a student at IU. I registered in Bloomington.
Wow.
I remember the fire station I voted at. I have not missed an election, and that was personal.
Yeah. I don't think I've missed an election since I was 18 years old.
And then I thought, well, boy, all these people, I looked it up before I got here, but let me look it up again. Nope, sure enough, you're still registered. On the roll, still active, registered voter.
Thank goodness.
Some of the arguments that were Hanifa Khalik during. I just want to read off a few of the quotes about her part of the presentation. During the PAC commission meeting, Khalik argued she turned in the correct number of signatures from each district, but Angela Nussmeier, the Democratic co-chair of the Indiana Elections Division, said her office only counted 338. It was like insinuated during Hanifa's testimony that somebody in the Indiana Elections Division messed up.
Yeah, it seemed like she was blaming, taking the staff to task a little bit at one point, and I didn't understand that I guess that was one of her theories, perhaps.
Well, she was very, she had accusations about me, right? But one of the things, I had the opportunity to ask her questions. And one of the very simple, direct questions that she would not answer is, how many signatures did you get in that district? You've told us, I know I got the 500. Okay, that's fine. Did you get 501? Did you get 495?
Right.
532? Tell us the number. Well, it eventually came out. She never counted. Although her candidacy declaration of candidacy,
that's what I was going to bring up.
Too. Yeah, I'll let you take that.
Well, yeah, there's a declaration of candidacy that Scott brought up, and that both Tom and Dr. McCrae and Ms. Khalik had to sign that said, I certify that I have met the requirements to be a candidate for the office that I'm filing for, which would say that you're certifying that you have the correct signatures.
And one of the things I do my best to adhere to. Am I perfect? No. But I believe in being impeccable with your word. And I believe in being impeccable with your word absolutely on a document that I sign, sworn to statement, a statement on my oath under penalties for perjury. Those types of documents, if you're ever going to pay attention to accuracy, I think, and you want to be the representative of the state of Indiana in the U.S. Senate, I think at the very least you have the obligation to be impeccable with your word when making your declaration of candidacy. So
to summarize, so with Hanifa, Kevin already mentioned, she said the system's flawed. There's no consistency across the 92 counties. We already covered that.
Yeah.
And then lastly,
I agree with that.
Her argument was more, there's no doubt Hanifa worked hard. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
She went across the state. She's been doing it for months, but she didn't get what she was supposed to get to qualify for the ballot. But she closed out her presentation to the election commission with this statement. The evidence is overwhelming that Hoosiers want to see competition on both sides of the aisle, Khalik said as she defended her candidacy. So she was making like a call to, this rule, even though it's a law, this shouldn't be there. And evidence is overwhelming that people want to see more people competing in the primaries. She may be true. She may be right on that.
You've even talked about it.
Right. I don't necessarily think this is the fairest law, but it's a law in Indiana, and we complied with it.
Well, and Scott mentioned the election commission is not the place for that remedy.
That's right.
It's the state legislature.
And personally, on a personal level, I felt bad for both candidates.
Yep.
I did not like what I was doing.
Right.
From that perspective. However, I do believe in the rule of law. I operate and rely upon the uniform application of the rule of law.
I remember the day you called and offered to do this. That was one of the things you said to me that first day, because I was like, Scott, this could get, because I knew what I was getting myself into, and I'm the candidate, so I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be called names, I'm ready to be jeered, and I was like, you're ready for this, right,
it's
Scott?
Another Tuesday for you,
right? For me, it's just another Tuesday. Some people aren't used to that thing, and then you said, Mayor, I believe in the rule of law. And I remember you said that, and I was like, I appreciate that. And that's the fact is they didn't have the required number of signatures, and that's required to run for office.
Sometimes we have to stand up knowing something will be hard. And I thought I could do it. And I think we have seen and will see in years to come that we need to really adhere to the rule of law because our entire system depends on it.
Okay, then things got interesting. I mean, not that it wasn't interesting already. Not that it wasn't interesting already. Dr. Valerie McCrae raised the temperature a lot, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, then because she wasn't even close. Let's be honest. Hanifa was at least close.
I think Hanifa got qualified in 6 or maybe even 7 of the district,
right?
6 or 7.
So she was
right.
Yeah. She was in the ballpark.
Oh yeah,
Hanifa, right?
Yeah.
And Hanifa, by the way, realistically, when I was campaigning across the state of Indiana, I ran into Hanifa probably 6 or 7 times just naturally, right? I ran into Dr. McCrae 1 time. In Indianapolis, where she lives, by the way, where I ran into her. Okay, so in my opinion, no offense to Dr. McCrae, in my opinion, Hanifa was working 10 times harder than Dr. McCrae ever worked in this race. And that's just from somebody that's on the campaign trail seeing it. Hanifa was working her butt off. I acknowledge. Dr. McCrae, in my opinion, just put her name on the ballot and just wanted to say, hey, I'm running for Senate, because she wasn't doing the work that you needed to do. And the proof was in the pudding, because she didn't get anywhere near the number of signatures she needed to get, right? So Dr. McCrae walks into that hearing, and she basically says, I wasn't even close.
That's when Scott was challenging her, right?
Right. She was like, yeah, I didn't even have anywhere near the number of signatures. And then she had this theory, which was insinuating that I was somehow infiltrated her campaign.
Or she said another campaign.
But she was talking about me, Kevin.
I would think so.
Are you seriously? Come on. Take a step back. Who do you think she was talking about if it wasn't talking about me? Just answer a question, for God's sakes.
I think that she was probably talking about you, but she didn't say it.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, for God's sakes.
Yes.
She was talking about me, right?
Yes.
And what was her theory? Campaign manager?
She said that another campaign had sabotaged her campaign by she had a gentleman, I forget the name she used, who told her he had 3,500 signatures and then didn't.
And her suggestion was somebody in another campaign, quote unquote, talking about my campaign, infiltrated her campaign, got right next to her and said, Dr. V, I got 3,500 signatures for you. Just hold on. I'm going to drop them on you, and you're going to qualify for the ballot. Just hold on, baby. Just keep doing what you're doing. And then when the crunch time comes, Dr. McCrae's like, okay, mysterious person from, allegedly from the McDermott campaign, where are my 3,500 signatures? And this person disappeared. That was said at the election board, was it not?
She said, I think that one of the commissioners asked, do you have any further evidence of that? What evidence do you have to show that? And she didn't. She had to acknowledge that she didn't.
Scott, is that accurate?
That's accurate. I was struggling to follow this story from time to time, because there were parts that, aside from the overall story that seemed pretty fantastical, details weren't matching up either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and again, knowing that there's this requirement and knowing you have to kind of plan ahead, even if that person said, I mean, if somebody came to us and said, I have 3,500 signatures, I'd be like, oh, let's see them. What counties are they from? Where are they at? Because, I mean, it's not just like, you don't just get to count up to 4,500. You have to be like, what county do you have?
They're all from the first.
Right. Great. We got 3,500 up in Lake County.
I think she said she discovered this November, December.
Yeah.
Why are we just hearing about it for the very first time at the commission where your candidacy is
you would
being
think
challenged?
You'd be like turning that guy in or something.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. By the way, I categorically deny anything involved in that fantasy. That's completely fiction and false. And has no truth. I don't know who was in her campaign. We weren't focused on anything in our campaign other than collecting signatures. That's all we were focused on.
She mentioned the guy's name. I'd never heard the name.
I don't even know I don't even know if it's true what she's saying, but I could tell you that whatever she was insinuating about my campaign was just a flat lie designed to smear me in front of the election board and a packed audience, basically. She also went on to say, and I'm reading from an Indy Star article on this, McCrae blamed Mayor McDermott for blocking 2 African-American women from the ballot, though neither met the statutory requirement to run, and McDermott's campaign had not filed the challenge. Ironically, just after she stated this, her challenge of McDermott was next, and she had no evidence. That's straight from the Indy Star. So, it was like Mayor McDermott is a bad guy because...
She said copied signatures. This is interesting. She said he copied signatures from another one of his signature campaigns that he had to raise signatures for. I'm thinking, he's never had to do signatures before.
The only campaigns you have to raise signatures for are school board elections. That's local.
Right,
but also for a governor and U.S. senator.
And president.
And U.S. president, excuse me. You're right. So, when you run for Congress... You don't have to do anything other than go to Indianapolis and sign a piece of paper. That's why there was 14 people running for Congress when I ran, right?
True.
20 people if you count the Republicans, right?
Yeah.
So the reason I imagine the reason they protect the governor's ballot and the president's ballot and the U.S. senator ballot with this really hard system that we go through is so you don't have 14 freaking people running for U.S. Senate in Indiana.
Well, and Scott, they've been challenged, right? And these systems have been challenged and they've been upheld.
They've been upheld.
Yeah. Now that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that the state can't change it. And by the way, it's not the same in every state. Each state has its own ballot access requirements for these offices, and some are easier, some are harder. Indiana's is known throughout the country as one of the hardest. And it is.
So anyway, it was apparent that we were going to win. That Hanifa had already been knocked off the ballot by the Indiana Elections Commission 4-0. Dr. Valerie had been knocked off the ballot by a motion of 4-0. Dr. McCrae's allegation that I copied the signatures, which is a felony, a federal offense, by the way, was categorically denied.
Well, she withdrew it.
Yeah, she
withdrew
said,
it. I don't have any evidence.
I don't think
even though I made this.
I just wanted to say this to this packed room. I wanted all the newspapers and TV stations to hear it. You can't trust Tom McDermott. He did something with this. He did this and it's copied. And basically I have no evidence, so I withdraw my motion, right?
Well, yeah, one of the commissioners specifically asked her, and this is when you and I got into it, one of the signatures.
A rare Kevin and Tom disagreement.
In public.
In front of a packed room, by the way.
So one of the commissioners says to Dr. McCrae, all right, I've heard these are kind of serious allegations you're bringing up. Do you have any evidence that you've brought with you today to support them? And she said, no, I don't. It's hearsay. I think is what she said. She said, no, I think it's all hearsay.
She said hearsay, yes.
And then the commissioner said, well, would you, I'm going to make a motion to deny the challenge. And then the chairman of the commission says to Tom, Mr. McDermott, you've heard that there's a motion. Would you like to give up your time to cross-examine Dr. McCrae, give up your time of presentation, and accept the fact that we're going to entertain this motion to deny the challenge? And I'm whispering to Tom at that time,
shut up.
We don't have to say anything. Because, I mean,
great advice, Kevin.
Because I'm thinking as a lawyer, and of course Tom's thinking of as a politician. Is that my opinion is we won.
Right.
That's it. Let's get the hell out of here.
Right.
And let's
get back on I-65 and take our lives in our hands and try to get home.
Right. And not to mention, this is not a friendly room.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
This is
and I don't mean the
booing and
commissioners.
heckling
Right.
and
Commissioners
yelling
at us.
People yelling at us.
Yes.
Wow. We're getting yelled at. We're getting booed and heckled. Kevin's like, shut the hell up.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Let's get the hell out of here. And what do I say? I'm like, Kevin, there's no freaking way I'm not addressing this. I'm like, dude, this is...
I bet you watch the video, I'm just shaking my head.
She is challenging my integrity. She's she's alleging that I've committed a felony, a federal offense. It's like, I have to say something to this, Kevin. And then I started it off with a cover Kevin statement. I said, Mr. President, against the advice of my attorney, I'd still like to make a statement.
Who told me not to say anything.
My attorney told me not to say anything.
I still want to say something.
So against the advice of my counsel, I want to clear a few things up. And I went on, and I think I did a good job.
Actually,
right on.
You looking back on it, you made the right decision. Because, again, I was thinking just as a lawyer there, which is what my job was in that position. And I'm trying to say, we won, let's hightail it out. And you're saying to yourself, I got a packed room here. I've just been disparaged.
Yeah.
I've been talked about for the last hour.
Right.
I need to say something. And I thought and I thought what you said was actually very heartfelt and good.
It was. I was like, my campaign team worked so hard to get these signatures. Mm-hmm. It was just as cold as it was for Hanifa and for Dr. V. It was just as snowy as it was. We dealt with the same issues with the clerk's offices across the state that Dr. V and Hanifa dealt with. We had all the same challenges that they had, and we got them. And every one of those signatures is 100% valid. And then
they were certified, right? The clerks certified them. I mean, if you want to take on the clerks, take on the clerks.
And then I said, it's no wonder young people don't want to run for political office anymore. You just get your name just trashed about. I got trashed for doing the right thing, for getting the right number of signatures.
Not even the right thing, just doing what you're required to do under the law, right? I mean,
well, and here's kind of the fundamental reasons for requiring adherence with this law, right? You devoted a tremendous amount of resources to that to that part of the campaign, right? That meant that you weren't out speaking where you could.
Raising money.
You weren't out raising money.
That's right.
If we are going to change the rules in the middle, right?
Right.
How does that ever result in a system that is...
Agree. Good point. I sacrificed a lot of opportunities to raise money, like you said, sacrificed a lot of public speaking opportunities because our entire focus for about 6 weeks was getting signatures, and that's it.
And when December hit and we were like, we are nowhere close to this, it was like,
Kevin was in panic mode.
I was in significant panic mode.
And when Kevin goes into panic mode, Tom goes into panic mode, right? I remember I had a friend of mine, good friend, that she calls me and gives me political advice. She's a friend of the show. She's probably listening right now. She's in Washington, D.C., running an agency, actually. And she sometimes gets on me about my lack of fundraising because she wants me to be up there where Todd Young is, right? And she called me up and she was sort of complaining about my number. And I was like, listen, we are focused on one thing right now, and it isn't raising money. No offense to my friend. I love her. I think she's great. But I'm like, if I don't get these signatures, it doesn't matter if I raise $1 million. I can't run. So, we sacrificed everything to finish and to get across that finish line. And that's why I was happy that you filed those challenges, Scott. And if you didn't file those challenges yourself and didn't volunteer to do it, I would have done it myself because we did what we were supposed to do legally. And it had nothing to do with race, had nothing to do with sex, had nothing to do with nothing other than we made it, we did what we were supposed to do, and I should be the only one on the ballot. So
thanks, Scott.
So thank you.
And by the way, great presentation. It was good.
It was excellent.
John, I know we're going to wrap up, but I had to mention this because I thought you would find this so funny. You remember our friend that came up with the Trump parade in front of Tom's house?
Yeah.
He was there.
Yep.
Nice.
He's clean cut too.
He's dyed his hair black.
Wow.
Yep. Looks totally different.
I think he was getting challenged.
He was a candidate for Congress.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I don't know if he was getting challenged or challenging, but he was there.
He was probably getting challenged.
Just to give you an idea on the room.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But anyway, I want to thank Scott Yahne for Scott. Could you tell everybody about your law office and where it's located?
Sure, just real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
I do mostly a commercial transaction practice, work with a lot of the developers.
Mm-hmm.
Bank Calumet Building's a fun project I'm working on. Centennial Village, Kevin and I are working on a cool project. But my office, right here.
Right.
In Munster, but my main office where I'm primarily located at is Valparaiso.
And what's the website?
YahneLaw.com.
YahneLaw.com.
YAHNE
LAW.com. Yep.
And then you're obviously versatile, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you had nothing to do with election law before you did this challenge, and now look at you. You could put it on your site.
Yes.
Election law.
Anyone need help with challenges?
Right.
No, thank you.
So, all right, but thanks for coming by.
I'll help.
We appreciate you being a guest on our show.
Yeah,
and
thanks for coming.
Dave Esmar, I'm going to miss you, brother.
Good luck, John.
I'm wishing you the best
John.
in 2 shows. And, obviously, we're going to be thinking about you and praying for you. Quick and speedy recovery, John. And
Thank you.
Amen.
Guys.
And Jill, great to see you. Thanks for coming by again. And, of course, to the campaign manager extraordinaire, the guy that engineered. By the way, the guy that I gave so many good quotes to in newspapers across the state, Kevin. Did you see that?
Yes.
Type in Kevin Smith into the search. Your name is.
I appreciate that. It was not a job that I asked for, but it's a job that landed in my lap to get these signatures done. So we had to make sure it got done.
But you know what, dude? You got a lot of kudos out of it, and
that's fine.
You're code number 34 on the most 50 powerful people.
Yeah, whatever that's
And
worth.
rising.
And rising.
Half of that. I think
so
68.
if you were 34, you're 68.
68.
Right? But I agree with Scott. You're moving up.
That's okay. I just want to make sure we get the job done for you.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching Lockpod, Season 3 or Season 5 episode, whatever.
222. Deuce is wild today.
Deuce is wild.
Yeah.
All right. Take it easy, everybody. See you on Friday.
222.